My family turned their backs on me during my dad's $800 birthday dinner. I stayed calm and handed them a folder. Inside were receipts totaling $78,000. My sister screamed. Her marriage later fell apart. They say family sticks together. Mine stuck to me like parasites. It was my father's 60th birthday, a milestone. Mara called it in the group chat I was never included in. Until it came time to divide the bill. A surprise dinner at a mid-tier steakhouse. Not upscale, just your usual spot with leather booths, melting butter over every steak, and Sinatra blaring from the ceiling vents. I paid for the reservation. I paid for the custom cake. I even paid for the gold-lettered balloons spelling out his name. When I walked in, 15 minutes early, because I'm always early, no one smiled. No waves. No eye contact. Just a weird energy shift. That silence before someone says something you won't forget. Everyone was already seated. My siblings, their partners, kids wearing party hats and running wild on sugar. My seat was the only one left, squeezed between Mara, my older sister, and Darren, the younger brother who once called me sobbing after his car broke down outside Vegas. I sent him $1,200 that night, no questions asked. No one looked up when I sat down. I asked where Mom was. Silence. I asked if Dad saw the engraved watch I left for him, something I'd saved 3 months to buy. Still nothing. Then Mara leaned in, her rose-scented perfume wrapping around me like a noose, and said quietly, "You're lucky we let you come." I blinked. What? She leaned back, smirking like she'd just won something, then stood and raised her glass. The clink of her spoon on crystal snapped the room to attention. "Before we dig into this delicious filet mignon, generously paid for," she started, her voice overly sweet. "We have an announcement." Everyone stopped talking. Even the kids went still. "It's time we admit what's been obvious for years," she said, now standing behind her chair like a judge in a courtroom. "Trevor has made his choices, his career, his bachelor lifestyle, his little dog," she said, gesturing lazily at me. "And that's fine. But choices come with consequences." I felt it coming. Not because I was surprised, but because I wasn't. I'd seen it coming in the gaps of every group chat I was left out of, in every hollow "thank you," every joke with a hidden jab. "So," after long discussion, Mara said, scanning the table, locking eyes with Darren, with Mom, even with Dad, "we've decided to cut ties. As of tonight, you're no longer part of this family." There was a pause. Not the kind that invites protest. The kind that confirms you're alone. Then came the clapping. Awkward, like a bad toast at a wedding. Cousin Tasha cheered. Darren gave a smug nod, like signing off on a team assignment. Mom just kept eating her salmon, staring at her plate like nothing happened. I turned to my dad. "You're okay with this?" He sipped his scotch. "It's probably for the best," he muttered. My throat went dry. I looked around at the people I'd helped for more than 10 years. Paid mortgages, bought gifts, took their kids on weekend trips, solved problems they called emergencies. "You rehearsed this," I said quietly. Mara smiled that fake holiday smile she wore every Christmas. "Of course. We wanted to be respectful." "Respectful?" I pulled out an envelope from my jacket, heavy, thick, sealed. I placed it on the table. "No drama. Just purpose. Then you won't need this." She raised an eyebrow. "What is it?" "Your will." "Close," I replied. "It's everything you thought I'd never say out loud." She rolled her eyes and tore it open, expecting a rant. Maybe another check with a passive-aggressive note. Instead, she found pages, printouts, transfers, dates, screenshots, names. Her hands trembled. But before the yelling started, before the deflection, before it all unraveled, I want to tell you how it got to this point. Because no one cuts off family without a reason. In my case, I had 78,000 of them. They didn't always resent me. Not outright. It was more like I stopped being useful the way they liked. As a kid, I was quiet. The responsible one. I didn't ask for much, didn't cause trouble, never needed reminders. While Mara threw tantrums and Darren broke lamps, I read books and fixed the Wi-Fi. But in a dysfunctional family, being low maintenance doesn't earn praise. It gets you ignored. I moved out at 18. No drama. Packed up a U-Haul, signed a lease an hour away, and started college. 2 jobs. No help. Mom called me stoic, like it was a compliment. Dad said, "That's Trevor, self-sufficient." Translation: he's not our problem. So they forgot me. When my roommate robbed me. When I had to pause school because I couldn't afford books. When I graduated with honors, alone. But they remembered me when Mara got fired. "Trevor, can you cover rent just this once?" They remembered me when Darren's wife had a baby. "Could you help with the crib, car seat, maybe the hospital bill?" Every holiday, every last-minute emergency, I was their fallback. And I helped. Of course I helped. Because I believed family steps up. I thought if the roles were flipped, they'd do the same. But the roles never flipped. I worked my way up in tech. Learned how to manage money, invest, grow my income. The more I earned, the more they asked. "No, please. No, if you're able. Just, we need this. You can afford it." Mara once jokingly called me Trevi the ATM. When I pushed back, they laughed. "Don't be so sensitive," Darren said. Thing is, I am sensitive. I just stopped showing it. Eventually, I wasn't a brother anymore. I was a financial backup. If I missed a birthday, I was selfish. If I said no to a loan, I was cold. If I pulled away, I was disloyal. But the real shift happened last year. Mara wanted to open a boutique wellness studio. Yoga, smoothies, candles. "It's not just a business, it's a movement," she said. She asked me to co-sign the loan. I said no, politely. Even offered to review her plan and help her apply for grants. She didn't want help. She wanted a guarantee. She hung up. Never called again. After that, everything changed. Mom stopped sending Bible verses. Dad replied with one-word texts. Darren blocked me. Mara posted cryptic stories about removing toxic energy, while holding sage and staring at the sun. Then came the Easter photo. Everyone smiling in front of Mom's house. Everyone except me. No invite. No explanation. I sat alone in my apartment eating leftover Chinese food, scrolling through my bank statements. 5 years. Then 7. Every Venmo. Every transfer. Every, just till next Friday. Over $78,000. And what hurt most? Not one person offered to pay me back. Not even a thank you card. So I built the folder, receipts, texts, screenshots, transfers, organized by date, color-coded, complete with a summary and a timeline of events they excluded me from. Not out of revenge, out of clarity, because I knew this moment would come. And when it did, I didn't want to scream or cry. I wanted to sit quietly, look them in the eye, and hand them proof. No emotion, just pages, punched, labeled, undeniable. Mara's smile faded by page 2. At first, she flipped through it like it was a joke. A petty spreadsheet from her uptight brother. Then her face dropped. The table fell silent. Her fingers trembled as she turned another page. Her mouth twitched, like she wanted to say something but didn't know how. "What is this?" she muttered. Darren leaned over. "What's going on?" She didn't answer. She just stood up, too fast, knocking her wine over in the process. The glass rolled across the table and spilled into Dad's lap. He jumped, cursing. But Mara wasn't looking at him. She was staring at me. "You had no right," she hissed. I sat still, calm, unmoving. "You had no right to save all this," she said louder now, pointing at the folder like it was a bomb. "This is a violation. You're twisted." No one moved, not even the kids. My mother slowly set her fork down. Her face pale, lips slightly parted. She looked like she had just seen a ghost. Joel, Mara's husband, picked up the folder and began reading. Then he said it out loud. $78,000. He looked at me, eyes wide. I nodded once. Verified. Every cent. "Is this, from you? To them? Over 7 years? Yes," I said. Silence again. A silence so thick, it pressed against your chest. Joel flipped through more pages. Credit card charges. Dental bills. Cabo flight confirmation. Then he stopped, narrowed his eyes. "Wait. What's this? Hotel booking. Santa Monica?" Mara's eyes widened. She reached for the folder, panicked. That's nothing. That was work. Joel didn't move. You went to a hotel for 3 nights, with someone named Ryan. You told me, she started. He held up his hand. You told me you were at a wellness retreat with your mom. And just like that, the cracks turned into fault lines. Joel got up and walked out. Folder in hand. No shouting. No scene. Just a door swinging shut. My mother finally spoke. You kept records of everything? I turned to her, my voice even. Someone had to. You never remembered. She blinked, looked down at her plate, then whispered, we didn't mean to make you feel like an outsider. No, I said. You meant to make me feel useful. She looked up, eyes wet. That's not fair, it's honest. Then my dad cleared his throat. Okay, we all got a little emotional. Let's calm down before this gets out of hand. Out of hand. He still thought this was salvageable. That's the thing about people like them. They don't hear you until you burn the whole house down. And even then, they complain about the smoke. I reached into my coat pocket and pulled out another envelope. Dad rolled his eyes. What now? I placed it in front of him. This one's not about money. He opened it. Read the first line. Then froze. Power of attorney, revoked, he said. Medical proxy. Emergency contact. Financial fallback. All of it, revoked. I am no longer legally, financially, or emotionally responsible for this family. My mother gasped, like I had slapped her. You can't mean that. I do, I said. And it's already been notarized. You'll get the formal notice on Monday. You're being cruel, Mara snapped, re-entering the room. Her mascara was smudged. No, I said, standing up. I'm being done. Mara looked at our mother, searching for support. You're really letting him do this? My mom whispered, he's not listening. No, I said again, louder this time, looking around the table. You're not listening. You had years to listen. Birthdays, holidays, hospital calls, group texts. I gave you time. I gave you money. I gave you patience. And when I finally stopped, just once, you exiled me. Like I was some distant cousin who showed up drunk. I leaned forward, palms flat on the table. I was your emergency contact. And now, I'm the emergency. But here's the difference. I'm not here to fix it anymore. No one said anything. Mara stared at me like I was a stranger. Darren wouldn't meet my eyes. My mother looked at the folder, then the envelope, then at the empty seat where Joel had been. And then, I said it. The line I had rehearsed for weeks. You didn't lose a brother tonight. You lost your backup plan. And with that, I picked up my coat, took one last look around the table, and walked out. No shouting, no slamming, just footsteps. Quiet, steady. I left them sitting in their own mess. Half-eaten cake, warm wine, cold silence. I got in my car, turned off my phone, and drove home. For the first time in my life, no one could reach me. And for the first time, I didn't want them to. That night, I didn't cry. I thought I would. I thought I'd break down on the drive home, shaking, breathless, running over everything I said and wondering if I'd gone too far. But instead, I felt something else. Stillness. Like a storm had passed and left behind nothing but clean air. When I walked into my apartment, it was quiet. Just me and the faint hum of the fridge. No half-yelled conversations bleeding through the walls. No group texts buzzing my phone. No passive-aggressive voicemails from Mom. No guilt-laced Bible quotes from Mara. No, we're still family, messages begging for one more favor. I poured a glass of wine, sat by the window, and let the silence settle into my bones. For the first time in years, no one needed anything from me. And I wasn't racing to fill the empty space.